In order to support you as part of this Revalue Innovation Cycles 3, we would like to launch a toolkit. And the idea here is so we've already heard from Holger, how do we think about financing? What is our project? What are the co-benefits? And some out-of-the-box thinking may work. So in order to be able to get there, to find the useful and adequate capital stack, as was said, so your type of financing that you need for your project, we need to kind of go through a few steps, thinking about, okay, what do we need to show the potential investors so that they know what they're financing and that they will be on board. And for this, again, this toolkit is in work in progress, and in our dialogues with all of you, with each city, in the coming work of Revalue, we will together go through these. So today will just be a brief overview and to get us kind of thinking, okay, what are our steps to get to finance our ambition? First of all, and this is something that Lise and Peter know, because we've had some discussions, we need to really define our project. We need to clearly know what is the scope, what is the objective, who's involved, and why do we want to do this? And here, then you will also kind of establish, by going through this process of defining your project, you will realize what are the different stakeholders that we need to engage, who is going to help us move our project forward. And as a project developer or as a city, it's really important then to create an engagement plan so that everyone is on board with the how and why. So this is part of, as we already know, and I've kind of tried to integrate it here, our kind of innovation cycle 1, about storytelling. So Revalue is helping you with this as well, to create a shared vision and to communicate well with your stakeholders. So this toolkit is more for us to bridge the communication and understanding between you and your cities and the planners and the investors, so the financial stakeholders. So once you have a project defined, for the investor, it will be important to see what is your cost estimation. And in order to find the cost estimation, you will look at different scenarios that are possible in your area, in your development area. You will assess the financial needs. You will identify what are potential revenue streams. And this is the crucial step. So once you start thinking about, this is my area, these are the potential scenarios for my project, financially, we need to start thinking, okay, where do we get money from? Where's the cash flow going to come from to finance our investment or to refinance our initial investment? And not only do we look at the values, like the financial values, but also part of this will be to integrate and identify co-benefits. So as Holger already explained, and you can see the nice craft new European Bauhaus model on the corner, this will be a process where we look at what environmental and social benefits is your project co-creating. So here, this will all be based, and really importantly, we will need data. We can't estimate. We need financial data, we need environmental, social data, we need the data-driven scenario building, which is also part of, as you know, the Revalue concept. Once we have data, adding to our kind of preparation for finding the right funding and financing, we will need to take inventory, take stock of what's already there and where can we get the support needed that is currently not within our reach. So we will look at what are the traditional public and private financing instruments, what are potential alternative financing sources, innovative instruments, and in order to evaluate the, let's say, feasibility of new instruments and innovative instruments, we really need to look at our capacity. Do we have someone in our team in our project who has the capacity to do this. Otherwise, we then use external support, and I guess this is why we're all here as part of the capacity development. We're creating a community, and no one has all the answers, but we surely can find someone who has the answers. Then you can assess your capacity needs for capacity building, external support. And of course, part of the taking inventory is always also tracking, as you can see here, tracking available funding opportunities, whether it's as you do with EU Horizon, so whether it's EU funding, other development bank funding, institutional investors, private sector. And also within the policy review, so you review your policy, whether it's national, subnational, and there may also be some funds allocated to certain policy goals. So having done this, you can move on to what is the feasibility stage of your project, where you do a cost-benefit analysis with the information gathered. Here, it will very much depend on who you present your feasibility study to, in your case, your business case to, whether it's a public or a private investor. Public investors look at the economic rate of return, they look at the social and environmental and economic benefits. Private investors will also put a lot of emphasis, of course, on return on investment. Integrating your co-benefits and communicating them can really make your case stronger. So here, you see how we can integrate all the innovation cycles of revalue. The storytelling and the data collection can really make your case stronger. And you can, stakeholders have different interests in different social and environmental benefits. So you can really get them on board if this is done well. And finally, having done all that, you can think about your financing strategy and create your, as we previously called it, capital stack. So you find the optimal mix for your project, the mix of public funding, private financing, the structure, who's involved, who are the investors, what type of partnership and ownership structure is appropriate for your project. Traditionally, as you can see on the top right, infrastructure projects usually have a very high initial cost, initial investment cost, and a risk that private investors are not always willing to take on. So traditionally, then public capital, public funding is used to help with the pre-feasibility and the early stages, to de-risk and eventually make the project bankable, so that then your private investors will be happy to come in and and help you refinance the rest of the project. So by doing this, you'll make a compelling business case, showing the data, the co-benefits, financial analysis, the economic and environmental benefits. And of course, for everyone who's been involved in getting these kind of projects off the ground, we cannot kind of overlook the hurdle of complying with necessary regulations and permits. So that's it. This is a step-by-step approach, how we can start thinking about this.